Thank you for joining us today on Tech Tips. My name is Joshua Slater, the IT Handyman. Today on Tech Tips, I'm going to be going over cooling options for a computer. Now, there are some basic cooling options that you can have. Basically, they go between liquid cooling and air cooling, using a heat sink and a fan. As you can see here, this is an example of liquid cooling. What it effectively is it takes the processors right here, it has a plate that goes onto the heat sink, and it has liquid that comes through, pushed by a pump, grabs the heat, and it comes back through, and it goes through some kind of radiator. Most computer radiators actually have fans on them, and it goes through some slotted vents, and air is cooling the liquid before it goes back to a reservoir and then back out through the pump and then cycles through the process. This is one form of cooling, whereas another form of cooling is a heat sink. It's where you have a metal plate that goes on top of the processor and usually has fins, basically slots in metal, with a fan over top to blow air through the fins, cooling down the metal piece. The metal piece is actually taking the heat from the processor. Why do I bring this up? Well, because of depending on where your geographic location is would determine what kind of cooling you should use. I might recommend liquid cooling if you're in a more heat-centric demographic, because it is able to retain its coolness a lot better, being an enclosed system. Or if you're in a demographic that doesn't really get all that hot, you don't really need liquid cooling. You can use the heat sink cooling or air cooling. Another reason you would use the air cooling is if you have a specially designed room that is designed to keep the room cold. In which case you don't really need liquid cooling for that. You could use the air cooling. Unless, of course, you're doing stuff like overclocking your computer. Then you're going to want a more specialized system, which is out there. However, if you are overclocking your computer, you need to make sure you're doing your research, and you need to make sure it's the right thing for you. Me, for example, I only overclock to see what my computer can do. And then I set it all back to normal, because I don't need to overclock my computer on a day-to-day basis. Most people don't. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you liked the videos and want to see more of it. YouTube and Patreon are also linked below, as well as our social media and our websites. Send any questions you may have to contact@slatecomp.com, and we'll be happy to review them and get back with you. Thank you, and join us again. We'll have some fun.